Hey guys, welcome to this Turnout workout. In this video, I'll be showing you all of my favorite exercises to strengthen your turnout in an easy to understand follow-along format. In this video, we'll be focusing on activating and strengthening the 6 deep external rotator muscles. However, for a good turnout, you also need flexibility and not just strength, so if that's something you need to work on, I highly recommend checking out my middle splits stretching routine. In this video, I used some equipment. The equipment is totally optional and you can definitely do this workout without the equipment, but if you have it and want to use it, the equipment that you'll need is a small massage ball to roll out your muscles, make sure that it's hard enough, a light to medium TheraBand tied in a loop that is big enough to go around your knees, a Pilates ball, one of these soft medium ones, and a big yoga ball. So now let's get right into the workout. We're going to start with a short warm-up to make sure your hips are prepared. So taking your massage ball, you're just going to roll out your hips for 30 seconds on each side. I'm using a pink massage ball that I got on Amazon. You want to make sure your ball is firm enough to actually get into the muscle. A tennis ball is too soft and the pinky balls, like the bouncy ones, are also too soft. So you're just rolling up and down the hip to stimulate blood flow and loosen up the muscles. Now switch to the other side. Good. Now we're going to do a glute stretch, so cross your knees on top of each other and sit down. Your lower legs should be in a flat line if you can. If this is too difficult, then you can bend them in closer to your hips. And if you can't get your knees down on top of each other yet, that's totally fine. Just keep working towards it. You can also just do a figure 4 stretch if this is too much for right now. And if you need a deeper stretch, you can lean forwards like I did here. Nice. Now switch and do that on the other side as well. So crossing your other leg on top. You should be feeling this in your outer glutes. Good. Now this exercise looks super weird, but I promise it really loosens up your hips. So you're going to put one foot on demi-point and then just do some hip circles like you would in a jazz class, focusing on the hip of the leg that is propped onto demi-point, and you're trying to make the circles as big as you can to maximize the range of motion within your hip socket. And this looks so silly, but it resets your hip socket and really opens up a lot of range, so it's very good to do. Now we're switching to the other leg, so prop the other foot on demi-point and circle in the opposite direction. Good. Now for the last exercise of our warm-up, we're just going to do a frog stretch. So just bend your knees to a 90-degree angle and sink down into as deep of a frog stretch as you can. The goal is to get your hips onto the floor, but they might not be yet, and as you hold it, we're holding it for 1 minute, so as you hold it, they should sink down closer to the floor. And if your hips are not on the floor, especially, make sure that your core is staying engaged to support your spine. Nice. Now your hips should be loosened up a little bit, so we're going to get into our strength exercises. So for the first one, go into a plank position, and then you're going to pick up one knee to a passe in parallel, turn it out, turn it back to parallel, and put it down. Let's go. As you're doing this, you're trying to keep your hips as still as possible and keeping your core engaged to lift away from the floor. And you're using your deep 6 external rotator muscles as well as your glutes a little bit to rotate the leg to your maximum turnout. And make sure your standing knee in the plank is staying nice and straight and pulled up while the other leg goes to a passe. For the next exercise, lie down on your back, and we're going to grand plie on the floor, extend to a straddle or a la seconde, and then flex your feet to circle back down. As you're doing this, try to use your hip flexors as little as possible, really focusing on using the hamstrings to draw the legs up to the grand plie. Now we're going to repeat basically the same exercise but lying on your stomach, so your legs will not get as high or as wide. So your grand plie and then extend to a regular second position, so not a full straddle, and then rotate your legs down and slide them back to first position. As you lift off the floor, you're trying to get your knees off the floor before your feet. That's the goal, but your feet will probably already be off the floor if you don't have flat turnout. So the goal is just trying to lift the knees up. And then as you rotate down to the second position, try to get your heels and inside thighs to touch the floor before your toes so that you're turning out as much as you can. This rotation down from on there to the floor really activates the external rotators. For the next exercise, lie down on your back. We're going to turn out, grand plie, lift up your hips, and then slide down as you point your feet. Alternatively, you can do this exercise with a big ball, like demonstrated on top, and for that, your hips will stay lifted the entire time. You just, starting in parallel pointed, turn out, grand plie with a flex, stretch, and turn back in. If you don't have a ball, the exercise is just as effective without one. So then you would flex, turn out, grand plie with a flex, lift your hips into a bridge, and then slide back down as you point your feet, maintaining your maximum turnout the whole time. The last exercise on the floor is beats. So lift up your legs to 90 degrees, turned out, and just beat back and forth. During this exercise, you're again trying to minimize the use of your hip flexors because your hip flexors will restrict your turnout, and you're instead using the deep external rotators and your glutes to stabilize and turn out in this position. And make sure you're also stretching your knees as hard as you can and pointing your feet as hard as you can without sickling. And you're trying to cross the tops of your thighs, not just your feet. So make sure they're nice, strong beats with energy. And don't forget to keep your core engaged in this position to keep your back straight in a neutral spine and your ribs pulling down towards the floor. Now we're getting into our standing exercises. So if you have a medium to light TheraBand tied in a loop, you can use it for this. But if not, you can do it without too. You're just going to put the TheraBand around your knees and go into a deep grand plie and hold this for 50 seconds. During this, you are trying to push your knees back as far as you can, the goal obviously being a straight line from knee to knee. And you can do this holding onto a bar, wall, or chair to help you balance, or if you want a stability challenge, you can try it without. But since this workout is focusing on turnout, I'm holding onto a bar so I can really focus on using my external rotators instead of balancing. And for the last 10 seconds, I like to rise up to a demi-point, staying in this deep plie. Now get rid of the band, and if you have a wall, it's best to do this against a wall. So you go against the wall and put your hips against the wall so your body is facing away from it, and we're just going to do deep plies in this position, keeping the backs of your hips against the wall and going down to a 90-degree angle if you can. Make sure your knees are tracking over your toes. There should be a little space between your heels and the wall, and there should also be a little space between your shoulders and the wall, so small that you probably can't even see it in this video. And make sure as you plie, you're not tucking your pelvis under, but you're keeping it straight up and down so that your spine stays neutral. And it's really important not to tuck so that you can access the external rotators instead of forcing your turnout from the glutes and hip flexors. For the next exercise, if you have a Pilates ball like this, you can put it under your knee, but if not, you can just do this without the ball and it'll be just as effective. The ball just helps to engage your hamstring. So just put the ball under your knee and then go from a parallel passe to a turned out passe, keeping your standing leg turned out and your hips still, so you're rotating from the leg. And if you have a ball, you're squeezing the ball with your hamstring. Good. Now switch to the other side. It's also really important not to sit into your standing leg during this exercise, so make sure you're engaging underneath the glutes of that standing leg to pull up out of it. And our last standing exercise is airplanes. So in a parallel position, plie on one leg, and then extend your leg behind you so that your body and leg are forming a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to rotate out and then in. Here is the side angle so you can see the 45-degree angle of the body and the leg. This is maximizing your access to your rotation on the standing leg, both external and internal, because to have good turnout, you need to have good turn in, which I do not, but I'm working on it. Now switch and do the other side. So keeping your standing foot as still as possible, you're just going to rotate in and out on the hip. And this is also a stability challenge, so if you wobble, that's okay. I've been wobbling, but it should get more stable the more that you practice it. Now we're just going to do a couple ballet exercises that I like to do right before class to access my turnout. So for the first one, starting in a first position, you're going to turn in, turn out, demi-plie, and then tendu, turn that leg in, and then out, and close en croix. Make sure you're keeping your hips as still as possible during this exercise and rotating from the femur in the hip socket, and also using your best ballet posture and pulling up on your standing leg as you tendu. For the next exercise, extend your leg at about 45 degrees in front of you, flexed and turned out, and then we're just going to turn it out and in 6 times. And then you're going to circle it in mini ronds, moving to the back. So as your leg is doing mini ronds on there, it's completing a grand rond to the back and then close. Now repeat on the other side. So we have our 6 turn in and turn out, and then 8 mini ronds to circle the leg to the back. The key to this exercise is to keep your hips as still as possible and really pull up through the standing leg and standing side of the body. This is the last exercise for this video, so if you tried it and it helped improve your turnout, comment this emoji down below and subscribe for more videos.